Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price today as we are bouncing on the 50-day moving average, seeing follow through as we expected yesterday, and now we are back inside of this channel, and there is a bullish scenario for Bitcoin to potentially see the $60,000 level above the weekly open this weekend, because if you look at what's happening to the S&P 500, you can see here we saw major follow through after this very bullish candle that we talked about yesterday, and now we are over and above the weekly open. And if we look at the DXY, exactly like we talked about, we are seeing the DXY stall out at this resistance level, and now we are at the 200-day moving average. We have a lot to look at today. You guys are watching the Snipers channel. If you appreciate this content, remember to like this video. First, I want to talk about the volume with Bitcoin. Remember, when there's low volume, the path of least resistance is always going to be sideways to a little bit higher, and we are going to see wild swings to the upside and downside, and that's exactly what we're seeing with Bitcoin right now. And realize that when we pull up the 4-hour chart and the Ichimoku cloud, which is a very good indicator to determine momentum, you can see here there is this potential case for Bitcoin to come up and retest the top of this Ichimoku cloud resistance area, and that would put Bitcoin back inside of this triangle towards the weekly open. And we know the weekends are the most manipulated in the cryptocurrency markets, and of course all of the futures that have already expired are out of the way. And so if Bitcoin is able to break through this resistance here right at that $54,000 level, in my opinion, there is a potential case for Bitcoin to come up and retest this major resistance area and this weekly open sitting right at the $57,200 level. And if we get above the weekly open, there would be a major confirmation of a breakout, because we are now above the weekly open and above this major resistance level. And this would be my long trade for Bitcoin, because at that point we have the previous weekly open at 58,300 and 58,800 as major levels. If we're able to break through this level, Bitcoin has the potential to see new all-time highs. And so we have to watch for the bullish case to potentially unfold if we can start to get above this $54,000 level. On the 6-hour chart, it's going to be right at that 100 period moving average, because that would be the confirmation, and then that could get us up to the weekly open. Of course, we know the S&P 500, the traditional markets, are already above the weekly open, and on the daily chart you can see Bitcoin is seeing follow through at the 50-day moving average, which is a very good thing, because we know this has acted as a major support throughout this cycle since the $20,000 level. And so there is that potential Bitcoin can come up and potentially see new all-time highs if we can start closing hourly and 4-hour candles above 54,000. And we know the weekends are the most manipulated in the markets. When we look at Ethereum's chart, you can see we are inside of this major channel, and of course we are seeing massive volatility here with Ethereum as well. We want to watch the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart when it comes to Ethereum, and realize here there is a potential we could see a reversal if we get above 31,500 Satoshis, because we know we have the monthly open here, the weekly open, and of course when we pull up the weekly chart, you can see the 20-week moving average is sitting right at that 32,500 Satoshi level. If we get above 51,500, that's a straight shot to the 20-week moving average, and that could take us all the way back up to 35,000 Satoshis, and that would be a very positive sign for Ethereum. We know that we are finding some potential support here at this channel, and you can see we did try to wick at that $29,000 level, or that 29,000 Satoshi level, but we failed to get there. But that could be a bullish sign if we start to see follow through. Realize that there's very little volume, and that's not a bad thing, because the path of least resistance will be higher to sideways, and so we still could see higher prices with low volume. And so when we look at what's happening to the total cryptocurrency market cap chart, you can see here we are bouncing on this 50-day moving average, which is a very positive thing. We are still below the weekly open, but like the S&P 500, is there a potential case that Bitcoin and the total cryptocurrency market is going to get above the weekly open during the weekend? Who knows? It's on the table at this point based on what's happening to the S&P 500, which is a very closely correlated market. You can see bouncing on the 50-day moving average like Bitcoin, and also yesterday for the first time in over 2 weeks, retesting the 50-day moving average the same day as Bitcoin, already above the weekly open, seeing follow through from the very bullish candle that we talked about. And so we want to monitor this. And of course, the DXY here, we are above a major level here of 92.62. This is a major support level. If this breaks down, that could open the door all the way down to that 91.92 level. If the DXY can get to this level, then there certainly could be higher prices for Bitcoin and traditional markets, because the dollar weakening and consolidating in this area would be very positive for assets, because that means we're not going to see the violent run up that we could potentially see if we see this major resistance level for the DXY break. So we have to monitor the DXY, and then others' dominance and Bitcoin dominance still sitting at their major support and resistance levels. So not much to talk about there. And with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this analysis. For the downside, I do want to mention we still have this potential support level at 49,700. So if we can get to this level and see some volume, that could potentially be the final drop. If we start to see downside, at this point for me, I wouldn't like to see Bitcoin get back below this channel. If we start to see this channel act as a vibrational level, of course, we do have on the 6-hour chart this major support at the 200 period moving average. If Bitcoin starts to cross below 51,000, that's when I would bail ship, because at that point we have the potential of coming down to 49,700, retesting that area. If we break through that, there could be a more violent push to the downside. So we do want to keep the downside scenario in mind, but so far we're seeing bullish momentum in the traditional markets. The DXY is stalling out. We're closing the week strong, and so my opinion, we don't want to look too far to the downside scenarios at this point. And with that being said, guys, I do want to pick a giveaway winner for our book on the video 2 days ago. I forgot to do a giveaway yesterday. I actually did it, but I had to cut the video early. Let's see. Francis says, choppy times ahead, Naeem. Thanks for the warning. Thank you so much for the comment, Francis. Go ahead and message me on Instagram. The link is in the description below. You want a book. And with that being said, thank you all for watching this video. And until next time, snipers out.